Another model that you should walk through is the 4 Ps of marketing. The 4 Ps start off with price. Some of the questions you might answer that have to do with price have to do with the value to the customer. If you price something at $100, are they going to perceive the value? Is a $100 price tag going to convey the right value to a customer? Well, if it's a $100 Lamborghini, they're going to wonder what's wrong with it. If it's a $100 donut, it better be a really good donut. What you're communicating with the price should be aligned with how the customer would value what they're going to buy. Also, you should understand what the prices are of competitive products and services. If you charge $500 for your widget or for your hour of time, and your competition charges $25 for their widget or their hour of time, you're going to have to communicate your value proposition in a different way than they do. Also, is the price point actually profitable? You might think, well, of course it should be profitable, but I've seen situations where people or companies price a product out of the industry. Why? Because there was no margin in it. Another question you might ask is, are customers price sensitive? This might depend on how bad the customer wants it and when they want it. Is there scarcity in the marketplace? In other words, can they go anywhere and get it, or is there a waiting list? It could also depend on how many customers there are, as well as how many competitors there are. The next P is for product. In this P, you would actually define what your product is. Describe it. What are the characteristics of your product? Even talking about different color options, size options, length of battery life. Basically, what is the customer getting? In the product area, you would talk about the name of the product and do a comparison of like products that are already out there. Is your product differentiated? If it is, how can you talk about those differentiations to help your product stand out? The next P is promotion. Promotion is what most people are going to think of as marketing. Where are you going to promote this product? Of course, everyone nowadays is going to promote it online. They might do it on Facebook. In the olden days, outside of the internet, you might have said things like TV, radio, magazines, newspaper, billboards, things like that. You would define when you're going to promote these things and exactly what are you promoting. Are there different seasons that you would promote different things? For example, if I had a snowboard shop, I would promote that in the winter. And how frequent would my promotions be seen? Also, how are competitors promoting their products and services? The final P is place. We're not talking about where we're promoting things. Now we're talking about, where do I find the product? Where can I see it and get my hands on it and try it out? Do you need a trained sales force in order to get your product in front of your prospects? In the place P, you would think about your distribution channels. Are you strictly going through online channels? Or are you going through big box stores or small boutique stores? You would also answer the question, where are my competitors selling? The 4 Ps of marketing have been around for a long time. If you do a search on the 4 Ps of marketing or alternatives to the 4 Ps of marketing, you'll find ideas that other people have about different Ps or even completely different acronyms. I don't have a problem with any of the models that are like the 4 Ps of marketing. In fact, some of these might not make any sense. If you have something that's internet only, then place is not that big of a deal. But go through this page like it's a worksheet and see what you can fill out about price, product, promotion, and place. And if there are alternative models online that are like the 4 Ps, but updated to today's more current world, you might find value in adding 1 or 2 boxes to this model.